Welcome to Math with Miss Bright. Remember, during this video, you can pause and rewind anytime you need. Today, you will need your math journal, a pencil or colored pencil, and you can also use your dry erase board. Pause the video now so you can copy the vocabulary into your journal. Perimeter, the distance around a shape, found by finding the sum of the side lengths. Now let's look at question number 1. What is the perimeter of this soccer field? So here we have a model already drawn for us. So let's look at the information that's been provided. This length is 60 yards, this length is 40 yards, this length is 60 yards, and this length is 40 yards. This shape is a rectangle. Now I want you to think about what you already know about rectangles. They have 4 sides. The 2 longer sides have the same length, and the 2 shorter sides have the same length. Now, as we go through our problem-solving process, I'm going to use some different colors to help us identify the different numbers here, okay? So first, of course, I'm going to circle the numbers that are already provided for me, but I'm going to color code them, and I'm going to circle 60 in the same color because this length is the same as this length. And I'm going to circle 40 in this color because this side is the same length as this side. And this will better help us as we go through and work the problem. Okay, so I've circled my numbers, and this question is pretty straightforward. What is the perimeter of the soccer field? So I know that I need to find the perimeter, which is the total number of yards that is the outside of the soccer field. So when I need to know the total, we are going to combine all of the lengths together. So to make my equation, I'm going to add the 2 sides that are 40 with the 2 sides that are 60. And this is going to equal the perimeter. So I have 40 plus 40 plus 60 plus 60. So I can either just start 40 plus 40, or if I know that I can combine 2 of these numbers to create an easier number to work with, then I can go ahead and do that. So because I know that 40 plus 60 makes 100, I can do 40 plus 60 and 40 plus 60. You can write it in any order you need. I'm going to write 60 plus 40 equals 100. I did 40 and 60. And if I double that, because 40 and 60 again, 60 plus 40 equals 100, that is 200. So the total perimeter of our soccer field is 200 yards. Don't forget to label the same thing that they have given us in our problem. So these measurements are all in yards, so we need to label our total in yards also. So the soccer field is 200 yards in length. Now let's look at question number 2. Bobby drew a triangle. All sides of the triangle have the length of 4 inches. What is the perimeter of the triangle? So let's work through this problem using our strategy. So first we're going to go through and circle the numbers. So let's see, what do we find here? 4 inches. Okay. So this is so far the only number that is given to us. Now let's go to underlining. Okay, let's think, who is this problem about? Okay, Bobby. And what did he do? He drew a triangle. All right, so we are going to have to draw a triangle. They have not given us a triangle, so we're going to have to draw a triangle on our own. What else do we know about this problem? All sides of the triangle have the length of 4 inches. So we know that all sides are going to be 4 inches. And we know that we need to find the perimeter of this triangle. So now let's see if we have all of the information that we need to execute our solving of this problem. So we have a triangle. Okay, let's think. How many sides does a triangle have? It has 3. So we are going to draw that triangle now. And it says that all sides have the same length. So we're going to try to draw this about the same length the best we can. So here's his triangle. All sides of the triangle have the length of 4 inches. So this side right here is 4 inches. And I'm going to use the abbreviation for inches, IN. This side is 4 inches. And then this side is 4 inches. All right, now we have all the information we need to find the perimeter of the triangle. Before, they didn't tell us that there were necessarily 3 sides in there, but they told us that we had to draw a triangle. And as long as we know the shape that we need to draw, then we can help get all of the sides needed. So 4, 4, and 4. So we can add these all up because we know that with the perimeter, that's the total length of the outside of our shape. So we're going to combine these numbers together to find our perimeter. Since this is repeated addition, 4 plus 4 plus 4, we can also find the perimeter of this triangle using multiplication. We will come up with the same answer both ways, 4 times 3, because it's 4, 4, and 4. So I know that 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. And let me make sure. I'm going to double check and solve again using my multiplication now. 4 groups of 3. I can even do it the other way if I need to, but I know that 4 groups of 3 is 12. So the perimeter of this triangle is 12, but I need to make sure that I know the unit of measurement that we are using, and that is inches. So we're going to include that in our answer, 12 inches. All right, let's move on to our last problem. Problem number 3. Carmen made an L-shaped pen for her pet rabbit. The pen has 6 sides and the perimeter is 10 meters. The lengths of 5 of the sides are 1 meter, 3 meters, 2 meters, 1 meter, and 1 meter. What is the length of the missing side? So again, we're going to use our problem-solving process to go through and help us solve this problem. So first, I'm going to go through and I'm going to circle all of the numbers. Okay, 6 sides, 10 meters. We're also going to circle 5, even though it's in word form and not standard form. 1 meter, 3 meters, 2 meters, 1 meter, and 1 meter. Now I'm going to go through and underline my important information. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to ask all of my questions. So who? Carmen. What is Carmen doing? They've made a L-shaped pen for her pet rabbit. Okay. I know that the pen has 6 sides. And I know that the perimeter is 10 meters. And then here it gives us the lengths of 5 of the sides. 1 meter, 3 meters, 2 meters, 1 meter, and 1 meter. All right. And then I'm going to identify my question. What is the length of the missing side? I'm going to box that so I can more easily come back to that. All right, so here they have given us a model already. Go ahead and pause and draw this model in your journal. All right, so now that you have your model drawn, we can go into starting to solve our problem. All right, so it tells us that this pen has 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that is true. So we've made sure that we have our correct shape drawn. And we know that the perimeter is 10 meters. So I'm actually going to rewrite that information down here to help me, instead of having to go back and forth, I can just see it really clearly right here. Perimeter equals 10 meters. Okay. So usually when we have all of the lengths of our sides of a shape, we add them together to find the perimeter. So let's go ahead and put these in an equation to help us find what we need to do to find the missing length. All right, so I have my first 5 sides. 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. And then the last side is represented here on this model by a question mark. So I'm going to take that question mark and I'm going to put it in our equation right here because that's representing the missing number. Equals 10 meters. Okay, so I want you to look at this equation and think, if we're missing one of the parts, but we already know the total, what operation can we do to find this missing part? Good, we're going to subtract because we need to separate from our total all the sides that we know, because then what's left over is going to be our missing side. So I can rewrite this as a subtraction equation. I'm going to move my 10 to the front, and then I can subtract -1, -3, -2, -1, -1 equals my missing side. Okay, so this can look like kind of confusing equation or number sentence, but we can make it much easier by combining these numbers together and then subtracting from 10. Or if it is easier for you to go through and just subtract these one at a time, you can also do that. I'm going to show you both ways. So first, let's do it where we slowly subtract the known sides, okay? And I'm going to write down below as we go along, okay? So first I have 10 minus 1. Okay, well, if I have 10 and I take away 1, then I have 9. So 9 minus 3, if I have 9 and I take away 3, jumping down, that would be 8, 7, 6. So now I have 6. 6 minus 2, if I jump on my number line, let's think in our head. Okay, 6, 5, 4. Minus 1 would be 3. 3 minus 1 is going to be 2. So it looks like my mystery length, my missing side, is going to be equal to 2 meters. Let's try the other way where we combine the known lengths together and then subtract that from 10. So we're going to check our work by doing that. So first I'm going to look, and I'm going to do 1 plus 3. 1 plus 3 is 4, okay? And then I'm going to add 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2 is 6. And then 6 plus 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. And then 7 plus 1 is going to be equal to 8. So now I've done 1, 3, 2, 1, 1. So I know that all of the known sides that I have are equal to 8 meters. So now I can take this number and subtract it from our known perimeter. 10 minus 8. Well, if I think back about my number line, I can think where 10 is, and I can think where 8 is on a number line. Okay, and I think, okay, well, they're just 2 jumps apart. So that I know to get up to 10 from 8 is 1, 2 jumps, or to get from 10 to 8 is 2 jumps down. So 10 minus 8 is equal to 2. Now, I've tried it 2 different ways, and I came up with the same answer both times. So I know that this is the best answer because I used 2 different ways to solve my problem. 2 and 2. So I know that my missing length is equal to 2 meters.